Another year, another Quake Con, and another surprise re-release of a classic game from the early days of the id Software era. Well, I would have thought it'd make sense to update and re-release something like Heretic or the Hexen games. Heck, I'd love to see a remaster of Heretic 2, that game is so underrated. Instead, what we've got is a re-release of the original Doom games for console, and as an update for the release on Steam for PC. Which is also what they did about 5 years ago, along with a re-release of Doom 3, which is kind of topical this month. And it makes the subsequent re-release feel kind of odd. But this is also Doom we're talking about, and I never need much of an excuse to want to replay Doom. So I figured while I'm knee deep into a long Jak and Daxter project, I could take a quick look and see what all this fuss is about. Now, Doom has an extensive history of different releases over the years to various platforms, which is a topic worthy of a completely separate video. But here, I'm just going to be focusing on what's different between these two recent versions. The 2019 release saw the original Doom 1 and 2 released as two separate packages, developed by Nerve Software and running on the Unity engine. It was neat having both games on modern consoles, but these ports were far from perfect. Putting aside the Bethesda login issue that was patched out, there were presentation issues like the game's lighting not being correct and too bright, along with errors playing back the music. The ports also only supported local multiplayer, which was a baffling decision considering next to no one really does couch co-op anymore. And not that it was a huge deal, but you also only got the base games installed, meaning if you wanted to play one of the official expansions like the Plutonia experiment, you had to download it manually. So yeah, it wasn't exactly the worst way to play Doom if you're on console, but on PC there was practically no reason to play this version as there were no achievements added or mod support, meaning you'd still get a better experience using a source port like GZ Doom.
Life is good, but it can be better.
Which is where Night Dive Studios come in, once again, to give us all a more definitive, modern update to playing classic Doom. Right off the bat, the first awesome thing to mention is that this new release, like some of their other remasters, is a completely free upgrade if you own Doom, for both Steam and console, as I played through this on my PS5. The next thing to note is that instead of being split into two like before, everything has been condensed into a single package. On Steam, this means that Doom 1 is now this updated remaster, while Doom 2 remains as the 2019 Unity version if it's in your library. On console, the previous versions have also been delisted, but they are still playable if you have them installed like I did. And this isn't just Doom 1 and 2 either. The re-release contains every official expansion pack available from the get-go, except Sigil 2, along with a brand new expansion just like the Quake remasters, co-developed by id Software, Machine Games and Night Dive. It's running on the Kex engine, which means you now get accurate visuals, a bunch of accessibility features, and one of my favourite features, the ability to change the music playback options, including the IDKFA rearrangements from composer Andrew Holsholt.
Look at that. You've helped me find my smile.
Just like in Quake 2 Remastered, there is also a cool behind the scenes gallery, showing you pictures of the various enemy sprites and early concepts for the game. This version now also adds an achievements list for people playing on Steam, as well as a brand new trophy list for those playing on PlayStation, which is a fun little incentive to make you want to play through Doom again. There's a nifty one that requires you to beat any level on Ultra Violence with 100% kills without taking damage.
How hard can it be?
Also added for both PC and console is support for playing mods, which can be downloaded in-game and is a pretty cool feature, helping to add to the game's longevity. And this is probably where I should add some kind of Doom Eternal joke. I haven't tested this on PC, but on console this mod support feature is limited to mods that run purely using WAD data. This means that something like Alien's Total Conversion, which requires additional files to run when using a source port, doesn't work correctly here, as many of the assets needed aren't in the WAD files. Or in the case of My House, the game just completely crashes, which is kinda funny, as the mod is actually a PK3 file on PC. So basically, don't expect to be seeing Brutal Doom running anytime soon on PS5 is what I'm saying. It is still a cool feature on console for playing megawads, but if you really want to play modded Doom, you still can't beat using a source port like Jak X Doom on PC. Easily the best new update is the inclusion of online multiplayer, with full support for co-op as well as 16-player deathmatches, with there being a total of 43 deathmatch arenas to play in. Having such an easy way to play Doom in multiplayer is such a joy, and I can definitely see myself playing a lot of Doom online with my friends in the future.
Life is good.
The only thing that I can think of that would have made this the truly definitive package for classic Doom is if they had also included ports of some of the other console releases of Doom from the past. Kinda like how the Quake remasters also included the Nintendo 64 versions. It'd be kinda funny to see the Game Boy Advance versions here, or the Super Nintendo port. I mostly would have liked to see the PlayStation 1 ports for Doom and Final Doom up and running in this collection. Those versions have some interesting differences, leaning heavily towards a more horror-driven aesthetic with moodier coloured lighting, new sound effects, and a more atmospheric music score from Aubrey Hodges. Maybe these could potentially be added in the future, but it's not the end of the world, as there is a mod out there that ports them over into Jak X Doom.
Now you've done it. You've made me turn my chair.
The last thing I want to mention is the brand new expansion pack, Legacy of Rust. This features 2 new episodes that incorporate some new weapons, like a flamethrower, along with a bunch of new enemies too that have been based on early concepts that were cut from the original games. As with the new expansions in the Quake remaster, these new levels are all pretty impressive from an architectural standpoint, using lots of new textures and assets to create scenes that look and feel different from the other official expansions. But I'm not entirely sure that I love playing these maps, as even on Hurt Me Plenty, these are some hard maps that are also super long, often upwards of 20 minutes to half an hour. And they do annoying things like hiding monsters inside windows where you can't always see them, along with just spawning massive ambushes on you. Anyone who's played Die Flesh Consumed are probably going to lament the fact that there's essentially a Perfect Hatred Part 2 level in here. Still, I wouldn't necessarily call this expansion bad, just be ready to die a lot and have a quick save at the ready. So to wrap this all up, while this remaster isn't as exciting as some of Night Dive's other releases like Quake or their System Shock remake, it is still a great upgrade over the previous release we had for Doom on consoles. It also serves as a great package to replay all of the official Doom content for anyone who maybe hasn't touched the game in over a decade. For everyone else, the inclusion of multiplayer and achievements is likely going to be the main reason for you to grab this collection, but as I said, when it comes to playing mods, you're still far better off using a source port like Jak X Doom. But that will have to do for today. I might do a retrospective on Doom 3 as well, if I can finish my Jak video in a timely fashion. But until then, stay safe out there everyone, and I'll see you all in the next video.